Commander HFY stood before the massive holographic display in the war room of the Zephyrian Imperial Command. The blue-scaled alien adjusted his ceremonial armor as he studied the rotating image of a small blue planet. Earth looked so insignificant among the stars, barely worth the attention of the mighty Zephyrian Empire. "Commander, the intelligence reports are complete," announced Subcommander Krell as he approached with a data tablet. His younger features showed the eagerness common among junior officers seeking to prove themselves. The human species appears to be in their early technological development phase. HFY took the tablet and scrolled through the information. His yellow eyes gleamed with satisfaction as he read. The humans had only recently achieved faster than light travel. Their weapons were primitive kinetic projectiles and basic energy systems. Most telling of all, their largest warships were barely half the size of a standard Zephyrian frigate. "Fascinating," HFY murmured, though his tone suggested anything but fascination. "They have managed to spread to only 12 worlds in over 200 years of spaceflight. Our ancestors conquered 50 systems in their first decade among the stars." High Admiral Zex Ron entered the war room, his ancient scales bearing the scars of countless victories. The other officers immediately stood at attention. Zex Ron had personally overseen the conquest of 47 species during his long career. No world had ever successfully resisted the Zephyrian Empire under his command. "At ease," Zex Ron said, his voice carrying the authority of absolute power. "Commander HFY, you have reviewed the Terra files?" "Yes, High Admiral. The humans pose no significant military threat. Their entire defensive fleet consists of approximately 800 vessels. Our intelligence indicates they rely primarily on outdated defensive strategies." Zex Ron nodded approvingly. "The Empire requires the resources of their system. The third planet contains rare minerals, essential for our continued expansion. The humans may be relocated to suitable agricultural worlds, where they can serve more productively. If they surrender quickly," HFY added with confidence. "Most primitive species see reason when faced with superior force. We estimate complete pacification within 1 standard week." Krell shifted nervously. "Commander, should we not be concerned about their defensive positions? The intelligence reports mention orbital platforms around their homeworld." HFY waved dismissively. "Crude constructions designed to intimidate other primitive species. Our shields can easily deflect any weapons they might deploy. Besides, what can 800 ships accomplish against the might of our battle fleet?" The High Admiral activated the tactical display showing the assembled Zephyrian armada. 9,700 ships filled the screen, from massive dreadnoughts capable of cracking planets to swift corvettes designed for pursuit and destruction. The fleet represented the largest invasion force ever assembled by the Empire. "This force has never known defeat," Zex Ron declared. "You will demonstrate to these humans the futility of resistance. Offer them surrender terms initially. If they refuse, you have authorization to use whatever force necessary to secure their compliance." HFY bowed formally. "It shall be done, High Admiral. The humans will learn to respect Zephyrian authority." "See that they do." The Emperor grows impatient with the slow pace of expansion in this sector. A quick victory here will demonstrate our continued efficiency. As the High Admiral departed, HFY turned his attention back to the strategic planning. The route to the Sol system had been carefully calculated. His fleet would emerge from hyperspace at the edge of human territory, giving them time to see the overwhelming force arrayed against them. Most species surrendered immediately upon witnessing such power. "Sub-Commander, what is the current status of fleet preparations?" HFY asked. "All ships report ready for immediate departure, Commander. The dreadnoughts have been loaded with quantum torpedoes, and our fighter squadrons are at full strength. Intelligence Division has also provided us with samples of human communication frequencies." "Excellent. We will offer them one opportunity to surrender peacefully. When they refuse, as primitive species always do, We will demonstrate the consequences of defying the Empire. Kreltos hesitated before speaking again. Commander, the humans have been monitoring our border regions. Some reports suggest they may be more prepared than initially believed. Vex-Hi laughed, the sound echoing off the metallic walls. Prepared? What preparation can primitives make against technology thousands of years more advanced? They barely understand the principles of energy shielding. Their fastest ships cannot outrun our slowest interceptors. The massive fleet began moving toward the hyperspace jump points. Each ship contained warriors who had trained their entire lives for conquest. The Zephyrian military machine had perfected the art of overwhelming force. No species had ever successfully resisted when faced with such numbers and technological superiority. Signal all vessels. Vex-Hi commanded. We jump to hyperspace in 1 standard hour. Destination: Sol System. Mission: complete pacification of human resistance and acquisition of planetary resources. As the countdown began, Vex-Hi reviewed the battle plans one final time. The humans would likely attempt to defend their homeworld, gathering their pathetic fleet in a desperate last stand. Standard doctrine called for a demonstration of power, followed by systematic destruction of military assets. Once their defenses collapsed, the remaining humans would have no choice but to accept Zephyrian rule. Commander, Kreltos said quietly, what if the humans fight differently than other species we have conquered? Impossible, Vex-Hi replied firmly. All primitive species follow the same patterns. They rely on emotion rather than logic, courage rather than strategy. They will charge bravely into battle and die gloriously for their cause. We will honor their sacrifice by using their worlds more efficiently than they ever could. The hyperspace engines activated across the fleet. 9,700 ships disappeared into the swirling vortex of faster-than-light travel. In 72 hours, they would emerge in human space and bring the Sol system under Imperial control. Vex-Hi felt the satisfaction of another mission nearing completion before it had even begun. The humans would provide little challenge. Their primitive technology and limited numbers made victory inevitable. Soon, another species would learn that resistance to the Zephyrian Empire was futile. The massive fleet raced through hyperspace toward Earth, confident in their overwhelming superiority. None of the Zephyrian officers suspected they were heading toward the greatest military disaster in their empire's long history of conquest. Admiral Jin Seojun stood in the command center of Earth's Defense Station Alpha, watching the sensor displays with calm focus. The massive Zephyrian fleet had emerged from hyperspace exactly where the analysts predicted. 9,700 enemy ships filled the edge of the solar system like an approaching storm. Admiral, incoming transmission from the alien fleet, reported Communications Officer Park Min-jung. Her voice remained steady, despite the overwhelming odds they faced. Put it through, Jin replied. He had been preparing for this moment for 15 years, ever since humanity's first contact with Zephyrian border scouts. The aliens had been studying Earth, but humanity had been studying them right back. The holographic display activated, showing Commander Vex-Hi in his ceremonial armor. The Zephyrian's yellow eyes gleamed with the confidence of absolute superiority. Primitive humans, Vex-Hi began, his words translated by computer systems. I am Commander Vex-Hi of the Zephyrian Imperial Fleet. Your species will surrender immediately and submit to Imperial authority. Resist and face complete annihilation. Jin activated the reply channel. Commander Vex-Hi, this is Admiral Jin Seojun of Earth Defense Command. We decline your generous offer. The alien's expression showed surprise at the calm refusal. Most species begged for mercy when faced with such overwhelming force. Admiral, you command only 800 ships against our 9,700. Surely you understand the futility of resistance? Numbers alone do not determine victory, Commander. But you will learn this soon enough. Jin terminated the transmission and turned to his staff. Signal all vessels. Execute protocol. 7. Immediately. Across the solar system, human ships began what appeared to be a panicked retreat. The Earth Defense Fleet scattered in all directions, seemingly abandoning their positions in terror. Some ships fled toward the outer planets, while others headed for the asteroid belt. A few vessels appeared to malfunction, spinning helplessly through space. Aboard the Zephyrian flagship, Krell-2s monitored the human response. Commander, their fleet is breaking formation. They appear to be fleeing in disorder. Vexhai nodded with satisfaction. As expected, primitive species always panic when faced with superior force. Signal the fleet to pursue. We will destroy them piecemeal, as they run. The massive Zephyrian armada split into pursuit groups, chasing the scattered human vessels. The aliens' advanced sensors easily tracked their prey through the solar system. This would be easier than anticipated. Captain Maya Patel commanded the human destroyer Defiant as it led a group of Zephyrian ships through the asteroid belt. Her crew worked with practiced efficiency, navigating the dangerous field of spinning rocks and metal debris. Captain, we have 47 alien ships following us, reported her tactical officer. They're maintaining pursuit speed but keeping their distance. Perfect, Maya replied. Take us deeper into the belt. Make them work for it. The Zephyrian pursuit force followed the human ships through the asteroid field, confident in their superior shields and sensors. Their quantum torpedoes could easily destroy any human vessel once they achieved weapons lock. What the aliens didn't realize was that humanity had been preparing this battlefield for decades. Hidden throughout the asteroid belt were automated weapons platforms, disguised as ordinary space debris. Magnetic mines drifted silently between the rocks, waiting for the proper activation signals. Dr. Elena Vasquez monitored the engagement from her laboratory on Luna. For 10 years, she had been studying captured Zephyrian technology, learning the frequencies and vulnerabilities of their advanced systems. Her teams had developed countermeasures specifically designed to exploit alien weaknesses. All platforms report ready, she announced to Admiral Jin. The electromagnetic pulse generators are charged and waiting for your command. Jin watched as the Zephyrian forces spread throughout the solar system, pursuing what they believed were fleeing humans. The aliens had fallen perfectly into the trap. Dr. Vasquez, activate all hidden platforms. Captain Patel, spring the trap. Throughout the asteroid belt, weapons platforms suddenly came online. Railguns emerged from concealed positions and began firing tungsten projectiles at incredible velocity. The kinetic rounds punched through Zephyrian energy shields like they were made of paper. Maya's destroyer suddenly reversed course, its crew executing a maneuver they had practiced thousands of times. The Defiant's main gun fired a massive railgun slug that struck a Zephyrian cruiser dead center, tearing through its hull like tissue paper. What is happening? Vexhai demanded, as his displays showed ships throughout the fleet taking damage. How are primitive kinetic weapons penetrating our shields? Krell-2s frantically checked his instruments. Commander, their projectiles are moving at 90% of light speed. Our deflector systems were not designed to handle such velocity. The human ships had stopped fleeing. Instead, they turned and began coordinated attacks that demonstrated intimate knowledge of Zephyrian technology. Every shot found weak points in alien armor. Every maneuver exploited gaps in enemy formations. Dr. Vasquez activated her electromagnetic pulse devices. Invisible waves of energy swept across the battlefield, disrupting Zephyrian quantum communications. Suddenly, the alien fleet found itself unable to coordinate their attacks. All ships, this is Admiral Jin, the human commander, broadcast on an open channel. Execute attack pattern Omega. Show our guests what happens when they underestimate humanity. Human vessels emerged from behind asteroids, planets, and moons throughout the solar system. The scattered retreat had been an elaborate deception, drawing the aliens into prepared kill zones. Now the true Earth defense fleet revealed itself, and it was far larger than 800 ships. Maya's destroyer led a squadron of 12 vessels in a devastating attack run against a Zephyrian battle group. Their coordinated fire disabled the alien flagship's engines, leaving it spinning helplessly through the asteroid field. "This is impossible," Vex-High whispered as he watched his fleet take massive casualties. "They are primitives. How do they fight with such precision?" "Commander," Krell-Tos reported with growing alarm, "we have lost over 400 ships. The humans appear to know the exact specifications of our vessels." The trap continued to close around the Zephyrian fleet. Hidden weapon platforms fired continuously, while human ships struck from unexpected angles. The aliens' superior numbers meant nothing when they couldn't coordinate their attacks or predict human movements. Admiral Jin watched the battle with grim satisfaction. Humanity had spent 15 years preparing for this invasion, studying every piece of alien technology they could acquire. The Zephyrians had underestimated not just human military capability, but human intelligence and determination. "Signal all units," Jin commanded. "Phase 2 begins in 30 minutes. Drive them toward Earth. Let them see what real defensive preparations look like." Commander Vex-High stared at the tactical display in disbelief. His once mighty fleet had been reduced to fewer than 6,000 ships in less than 4 hours of combat. The humans fought like demons, striking from impossible angles with weapons that shouldn't exist. "Signal all remaining vessels," he ordered through gritted teeth. "Form defensive formation and advance toward the human homeworld. We will end this by destroying their command center." Krell-Tos hesitated before delivering his report. "Commander, quantum communications are still disrupted. Most of our ships cannot receive coordinated orders. They are fighting independently. Then we adapt." Vex-High snarled. "Signal by conventional radio, if necessary. The humans cannot have prepared defenses for their entire solar system." Vex-High snarled. The battered Zephyrian fleet began moving toward Earth, leaving behind the wreckage of thousands of their comrades. The asteroid belt had become a graveyard of twisted metal and shattered dreams of easy conquest. Admiral Jin monitored their approach from Earth's command center. Phase 2 of humanity's defense plan was about to begin, and it would demonstrate just how thoroughly humans had prepared for this invasion. "Dr. Vasquez," Jin said calmly, "activate the outer planetary defenses. Let our visitors see what we've built in the last 15 years." Throughout the solar system, massive structures began emerging from what appeared to be empty space. Hidden behind Jupiter's moons, weapon platforms the size of asteroids powered up their engines. Near Saturn's rings, entire battle stations revealed themselves, their hulls bristling with railgun batteries. The Zephyrian fleet suddenly found themselves flying through a carefully prepared killing field. Humanity had spent decades building fixed fortifications throughout the solar system, using advanced camouflage technology to hide them from alien sensors. "This is madness," Vex-High whispered as his screens showed defensive installations appearing everywhere. "How long have they been preparing for our arrival?" Captain Maya Patel's destroyer led a squadron of human ships in a flanking attack against the alien formation. Her crew had learned to work together like a single organism, each member anticipating the other's needs with outspoken commands. "Target their command vessels," Maya ordered. "Cut off their leadership and the rest will panic." The human ships moved with precision that astounded their enemies. Every maneuver seemed planned years in advance. Every attack struck exactly where the aliens were most vulnerable. The Zephyrians had superior individual technology, but humanity fought as a unified force. Dr. Vasquez activated her newest creation from her laboratory deep beneath Luna's surface. Electromagnetic pulse weapons hidden throughout the asteroid belt sent focused bursts of energy toward the alien fleet. Zephyrian ships began losing power systems one by one. "Commander," Krell-Tos reported with growing panic, "our quantum computers are failing. The humans are using some form of directed energy weapon that disrupts our electronic systems." Vex-High watched helplessly as his fleet's coordination collapsed completely. Ships drifted powerless through space, while others fired wildly at shadows. The humans had somehow learned to attack Zephyrian technology at its most fundamental level. "How do they know our systems so intimately?" he demanded. "We are thousands of years more advanced than these primitives." The answer came from an unexpected source. Admiral Jin's voice echoed across all Zephyrian communication frequencies, speaking in perfect Zephyrian dialect. "Commander Vex High, you seem surprised by our preparations. Did you think humanity would remain ignorant while your scouts observed us for 15 years? We have been studying your technology just as carefully as you studied ours." The human admiral's image appeared on Zephyrian screens throughout the fleet. Jin stood calmly in his command center, showing no sign of stress despite commanding a battle against overwhelming odds. "Every probe you sent to our territory," Jin continued. "Every communication you intercepted. Every piece of technology you believed was hidden from us. We learned from all of it. We know your shield frequencies, your weapon capabilities, your computer systems. Most importantly, we know how you think. Axis. We have to the weaponed. Axis." Vex High felt cold terror creeping through his body. The humans had been planning this defense for over a decade, studying Zephyrian weaknesses while appearing helpless and primitive. "Impossible," he transmitted back. "Your species lacks the intelligence to comprehend our advanced systems." Jin's expression remained calm. "Commander, you made the same mistake that destroyed 47 other species before us. You assumed that advanced technology makes you superior, but technology is just tools. Victory comes from how intelligently you use those tools." Maya's squadron struck again, this time targeting the Zephyrian flagship directly. Coordinated railgun fire from 12 ships overwhelmed the alien vessel's shields and tore massive holes in its hull. Emergency systems failed as human-designed computer viruses spread through the ship's networks. Throughout the solar system, hidden human defenses continued their systematic destruction of the invasion fleet. Automated weapon platforms fired continuously while human ships darted between the alien formations like deadly insects. Dr. Vasquez monitored the battle from her command post, watching as her specially designed weapons tore apart enemy vessels. Each electromagnetic pulse had been calibrated to exploit specific vulnerabilities in Zephyrian technology. "Admiral," she reported, "enemy fleet strength is down to 4,000 ships. Their command structure appears to be completely disrupted." "Excellent," Jin replied. "Begin Phase 3. Activate the planetary defense grid." Around Earth itself, the final layer of humanity's defenses came online. Orbital platforms that had appeared to be simple space stations revealed themselves as massive weapon systems. The planet's magnetic field itself had been modified, creating energy barriers that could deflect incoming fire. "By the void," Kreltos gasped as he watched Earth's defenses activate. "They have turned their entire world into a fortress." Made. Vex High stared at the displays, showing Earth's true defensive capabilities. Hundreds of orbital platforms, thousands of automated defense drones, and energy shields that covered the entire planet. Humanity had built the most comprehensive planetary defense system the Zephyrians had ever encountered. "They knew," he said quietly. "They knew we were coming long before we arrived. This entire system is one massive trap." The remaining Zephyrian ships found themselves caught between Earth's planetary defenses and the human fleet pressing them from behind. Every direction offered only death and destruction. The mighty invasion force that had departed Zephyrian space with such confidence was being systematically annihilated by creatures they had dismissed as primitives. "All ships," Vex High transmitted on emergency frequencies, "fall back to the outer system. We must escape and warn the Empire." But Admiral Jin had planned for this possibility as well. Human ships moved to block every escape route, while planetary defense systems reached out across space with deadly precision. The trap was complete, and very few Zephyrians would live to tell of humanity's true capabilities. The remaining 3,000 Zephyrian ships approached Earth's outer atmosphere with growing desperation. Commander Vexhi's flagship limped forward on emergency power, its hull breached in dozens of places. Around him, the once proud invasion fleet was a shadow of its former glory. "Commander," Kreltus reported, his voice shaking with exhaustion, "the humans are not pursuing. They appear to be allowing us to approach their homeworld." Vexhi studied the tactical display with suspicious eyes. After the systematic destruction they had witnessed, human restraint seemed impossible. "Scan the planet's surface. Show me their defensive positions." The sensors revealed a shocking sight. Earth's surface appeared completely undefended. Gleaming cities stretched across continents, with no visible military installations. Billions of humans lived in apparent peace, their civilization spread across the planet like a peaceful garden. "This cannot be correct," Vexhi muttered. "Where are their ground-based weapons? Where are their military installations?" Maya Patel watched the alien approach from her battle-damaged destroyer. Her crew had fought brilliantly, but the Defiant had taken serious hits during the running battles through the asteroid belt. Half her weapons were offline, and life support was operating on backup power. "Captain," her tactical officer reported, "the aliens are beginning bombardment of Earth's surface. They're targeting the major cities." Maya's expression hardened. "Signal, Admiral Jin. Request permission to engage." "Negative, Captain Patel," came Jin's calm voice over the communication system. "Hold position and observe. Phase 4 begins now." From his command center deep beneath Earth's crust, Admiral Jin watched the Zephyrian bombardment begin. Quantum torpedoes and energy beams struck the planet's surface, destroying the beautiful cities that had taken humanity centuries to build. "Sir," his communications officer asked hesitantly, "shouldn't we activate the surface defenses?" "Not yet," Jin replied quietly. "Let them commit fully to their attack. The cities they are destroying were evacuated months ago. Every human on Earth is safely underground, in prepared shelters." The truth was more complex than even most humans knew. Earth's surface cities were elaborate decoys, maintained by automated systems and holographic projections. The real population centers lay deep beneath the planet's crust, connected by tunnels that stretched across continents. Dr. Vasquez monitored the bombardment from her command post on Luna. "Admiral, the aliens are concentrating their fire on the eastern continents. They appear to believe they are inflicting massive casualties." "Perfect," Jin responded. "Activate the planetary weapon systems. Show them what Earth can really do." Across the planet's surface, mountains began to move. What the Zephyrians had mistaken for natural formations were actually massive weapon platforms built into the Earth itself. Electromagnetic launchers hidden within mountain ranges powered up their systems, preparing to fire projectiles at velocities approaching the speed of light. "By the void," Vexhi gasped as his sensors detected the true scope of Earth's defenses. "The entire planet is one massive weapons platform." The first salvo from Earth's surface defenses tore through the Zephyrian formation like a storm of destruction. Tungsten rods accelerated to incredible speeds punched through alien ships as if they were made of thin paper. Each projectile carried the kinetic energy of a small nuclear weapon. "Evasive maneuvers," Vexhi shouted, but there was nowhere to run. The surface weapons could target anything within the Earth's gravitational influence. The planet itself had become humanity's ultimate weapon. Kreltos watched in horror as ship after ship was destroyed by the surface bombardment. "Commander, we must withdraw immediately. The humans have turned their world into a fortress beyond our comprehension." But the Zephyrians discovered that retreat was no longer possible. Hidden weapon platforms throughout the solar system had repositioned themselves to block every escape route. Human ships emerged from concealment behind moons and asteroids, completing the encirclement. Maya received new orders from Admiral Jin. "Captain Patel, you are authorized to engage the remaining enemy vessels. Show them no mercy." The human fleet struck with coordinated precision that demonstrated years of preparation and training. Every captain knew their role in the battle plan. Every crew member had trained for this exact scenario. They moved like components of a single, massive organism dedicated to Earth's protection. From beneath the planet's surface, automated defense systems continued their devastating fire. Railguns, built into mountain ranges, launched projectiles with perfect accuracy, while orbital platforms added their firepower to the destruction. "This is Admiral Jin of Earth Defense Command." The human commander's voice echoed across all frequencies. "Your invasion force has been defeated. Surrender now, and we will allow survivors to return to your empire with a message." Vex-High stared at the carnage surrounding his flagship. Of the 9,700 ships that had entered human space with such confidence, fewer than 800 remained functional. The greatest invasion fleet in Zephyrian history had been systematically destroyed by creatures they had dismissed as primitives. "What message?" Vex-High transmitted, his voice hollow with defeat. "That humanity will not tolerate aggression against our worlds or our people. Any future attacks will result in the complete annihilation of the attacking force. We have the capability to defend ourselves, and we will use it." Dr. Vasquez continued monitoring from Luna as the few remaining Zephyrian ships clustered together in desperate defensive formations. The electromagnetic weapons had completely disrupted their coordination, leaving them unable to mount any effective resistance. "Admiral," she reported, "alien fleet strength is down to approximately 700 ships. Most appear to be heavily damaged and operating on emergency power." "Begin final phase," Jin ordered. "Demonstrate our mercy as well as our strength." Human ships moved into position around the remaining Zephyrians, but held their fire. The message was clear: surrender or face complete destruction. There would be no negotiation, no compromise. Humanity had proven their ability to defend themselves beyond any doubt. Maya's destroyer took position directly in front of the alien flagship, her weapons trained on the command bridge. Through her viewports, she could see the damage her crew had inflicted during the long battle. The once proud Zephyrian vessel was a broken shell of its former glory. "Commander Vex-High," Admiral Jin's voice transmitted across space, "you have 1 hour to make your decision. Surrender and live, or continue fighting and join your fallen comrades." The choice facing the surviving Zephyrians was no choice at all. They had entered human space expecting easy conquest and found themselves facing the most sophisticated defensive system in known space. Earth had proven that advanced technology meant nothing without the wisdom and determination to use it properly. Vex-High looked around his devastated bridge at the surviving members of his crew. The invasion that was supposed to demonstrate Zephyrian superiority had instead revealed humanity's true capabilities. Only a handful of ships would return home to tell the tale of their defeat. Sub-Commander Kreltos stood on the bridge of his damaged escort vessel, watching as 17 battered Zephyrian ships limped toward the edge of the Sol system. Behind them, Earth continued its slow rotation, unmarked by the massive battle that had raged around it for 3 days. Commander Vex-High had not survived the final engagement. His flagship had taken a direct hit from one of Earth's planetary defense weapons, leaving Kreltos as the highest-ranking officer among the survivors. The responsibility of carrying news of their defeat back to the Empire weighed heavily on his shoulders. "Sub-Commander," his communications officer reported. "Incoming transmission from the human fleet." Admiral Jin's face appeared on the display screen, showing no signs of anger or hatred, despite the attempted invasion of his homeworld. The human commander looked tired but resolute, like someone who had done what was necessary without taking pleasure in the destruction. "Sub-Commander Kreltos," Jin said, his voice carrying across space with perfect clarity. "You are free to depart our system. But before you leave, there are things your empire must understand." "I am listening, Admiral," Kreltos replied, surprised by the respectful tone. Most species would have demanded unconditional surrender, or simply destroyed the survivors. Humanity did not choose this conflict. Your empire forced it upon us. For 15 years, we knew this day would come. We prepared not because we desired war, but because we refused to surrender our freedom. Jin paused, allowing his words to sink in before continuing. "We could have destroyed every ship in your fleet. We chose mercy for the survivors, so they could carry a message back to your leaders." Dr. Vasquez's voice joined the transmission from her laboratory on Luna. "Sub-Commander, we are transmitting technical data about our defensive capabilities. Share this with your scientists. Let them understand exactly what they faced here." The data transfer began, showing Kreltos information that would have been worth the conquest of a dozen worlds just days before. Detailed specifications of human weapons, defensive strategies, and technological innovations filled his ship's memory banks. "Why are you giving us this information?" Kreltos asked, confusion evident in his voice. "Because knowledge prevents future conflicts," Jin explained. "When your empire understands humanity's true capabilities, they will hopefully choose diplomacy over conquest." Captain Maya Patel's destroyer moved alongside the alien vessels, escorting them toward the system's edge. Her ship bore the scars of intense combat, but her crew had performed beyond all expectations during the desperate battle. "Admiral," Maya transmitted, "the alien survivors appear to be documenting everything they see. They're recording our ship capabilities and defensive positions." "Let them," Jin replied. "We want the Zephyrian Empire to understand exactly what happened here. Fear of the unknown leads to aggression. Knowledge of our strength will encourage peace." Kreltos reviewed the human data with growing amazement. Earth's defenses were even more sophisticated than he had realized during the battle. Hidden throughout the solar system were weapon platforms, automated defenses, and sensor networks that could detect approaching fleets while they were still light years away. "How long did you spend preparing for our invasion?" he asked Admiral Jin. "Since the moment we learned of your empire's existence," Jin answered honestly. "We studied every piece of Zephyrian technology we could acquire. We analyzed your military strategies and conquered species accounts of your tactics. We prepared for every possible scenario." "But the cost," Kreltos protested. "The resources required for such preparations must have bankrupted your civilization." Jin's expression grew somber. "The cost of preparation was high, but the cost of surrender would have been higher. Freedom is worth any price." As the surviving Zephyrian ships reached the edge of the solar system, Dr. Vasquez transmitted one final gift. Advanced medical technology and scientific data that could benefit both species appeared in their databanks. "Why?" Kreltos asked. "After everything that has happened, why help us?" "Because hatred breeds only more hatred," Jin explained. "We defended ourselves, but we take no joy in the deaths that occurred here. Perhaps this knowledge can prevent future conflicts." The human escort ships halted at the system's boundary, allowing the Zephyrians to continue alone. But Admiral Jin had one final message for the survivors. "Sub-Commander Kreltos, when you reach your homeworld, tell your leaders this. Humanity extends the hand of friendship to all peaceful species, but we will never again allow our worlds to be threatened. Choose your response wisely." The 17 remaining ships activated their hyperspace engines and disappeared into the void, carrying with them proof of humanity's unexpected strength and surprising mercy. Months later, Kreltos stood before the Zephyrian High Command, delivering his report to shocked military leaders. The holographic display showed the systematic destruction of their greatest fleet by creatures they had dismissed as primitives. "Sub-Commander," High Admiral Zex Ron said quietly, "you are certain of these numbers? Only 17 ships returned from 9,700? "Yes, High Admiral. The humans demonstrated capabilities far beyond our expectations. Their entire solar system is one massive, defensive network. More importantly, they fight with unity and determination we have never encountered." The assembled commanders studied the technical data humanity had provided. The defensive systems were indeed sophisticated, but it was the strategic planning that truly impressed them. Every aspect of the human defense had been coordinated years in advance. "What is your assessment, Sub-Commander?" asked the High Admiral. Are the humans a threat to the Empire? Kreltos considered his answer carefully. High Admiral, they are only a threat to those who threaten them first. The humans demonstrated both incredible military capability and remarkable restraint. They could have destroyed all of us, but chose mercy instead. And if we were to launch a larger invasion force? Another commander asked. Based on what I observed, High Admiral, the humans would be even better prepared. Their defensive network grows stronger each year. More importantly, they have proven that advanced technology means nothing without the wisdom to use it properly. The High Admiral studied the reports for a long time before speaking. Sub-Commander Kreltos, you will prepare a full analysis of human capabilities for the Imperial Council. It appears we have encountered something unprecedented, a species that grows stronger when challenged rather than weaker. As Kreltos left the war room to prepare his report, he reflected on the strange honor he felt in delivering humanity's message. The humans had taught the mighty Zephyrian Empire a lesson about the true meaning of strength. Back on Earth, Admiral Jin stood in his restored command center, watching as reconstruction began on the surface cities. The holographic decoys were being replaced with real buildings as humanity emerged from its underground shelters. Admiral, Doctor, Vasquez approached with a new report. Our sensor networks are detecting increased diplomatic activity throughout this sector. Several species are requesting formal communication channels with Earth. The news is spreading, Jin observed with satisfaction. Other worlds are learning that conquest is not inevitable. Perhaps some good will come from this tragedy after all. Were another, maybe weight of the sea, in the Vide, cried. Captain Maya Patel joined them, her arm still in a medical support brace from injuries suffered during the battle. Admiral, do you think the Zephyrians will try again? Jin looked out at the stars, where 17 ships carried humanity's message across the galaxy. I hope they choose wisdom over pride, Captain. But if they return seeking conquest rather than friendship, they will find Earth even better prepared than before. The victory had come at a terrible cost in lives and resources, but humanity had proven something important to the galaxy. That freedom was worth defending, no matter the odds, and that sometimes the greatest strength came from the determination to never surrender.